Hey guys, welcome back to another episode here with Financial Hub, the Traders Show, which is proudly brought to you by Pepperstone, but more on that later. So we're back. Ken is here, Ken and I, we're back, and I'm sure most of you have really missed our content, our podcast especially, because that's what you normally ask for mostly. And here we're back to update you where we've been, what we've been doing, what changes are there, what is to come. So that's what is in today's episode. That doesn't need too much introduction. We just want to get straight into what it is, talk about the industry as it is, what you're seeing, what we are all seeing with the industry, and basically just update you and bring you guys up to speed before you get to see what we have in store for you with the other contents and the things and goodies that we'll talk about later on. So I'm your host today, Caleb. I'll let Ken introduce, then we'll get right into today's discussion.
So hello traders, welcome back to another episode. Like Caleb has said, I think we've stayed for around 2, 3, 4 months without doing these episodes. These podcasts.
2, 3, 4.
2 months. Okay. by and large, it's the range. So, But we're back. We'll be shooting now consistently. We'll bring you guests doing different things in the industry. I have a couple of guys who are doing very interesting things that I would like you guys to listen in to those guys doing those different things and just learn a thing or two, what to do, what not to do. So during this time, I've observed a lot of things going on around the industry, what's going on with our own personal lives. So we're going to unpack all that because I think the last time I did a webinar, there are a lot of questions on where we've been, why we're not posting consistently, what's happening, and there are a couple of things that we are changing, and during those periods, you tend to go low-key a bit, and then you structure your things and probably come back. So we'll talk to you about all those things that we're doing, and probably Caleb will start us off.
Yeah, so for me, I want to start us off with some story, take you down memory lane of where we were and where we are right now, and how we perceive it, because there's a certain way you guys perceive us, but how do we perceive our journey so far? So if you remember, our story goes back to 2015 when Ken and I met. It's 10 years.
10 years now. Strong. Strong.
It's been 10 years. Actually, it'll be 10 years this September.
Yeah,
we met in 2015 September and we were starting the mechanical engineering course that we were doing back then.
So we were to be engineers.
Yeah, to be engineers in another world. Yeah, but that's when we met. Then a few months later, after you know the story and how it goes, Ken went his way, I went my way. And then we were brought together back again by this industry that we are currently in, the financial markets, again in 2016, the following year. And Ken had known about forex in his own way. I knew about forex in my own way. And we were just here, banter, and we got to start. And we brought our minds together and said, let's do this together. So 2017 January marked the time we decided we're going to do this we're going to take this seriously. And 1 year later, in January 2018, is when Ken and I moved into the house we keep talking about in Zimmerman, the bed sitter where we started everything. And that's when now we started. It was sort of officially like our house, our office. We didn't have no screen. We didn't have no, it was not an enjoy. It was our sitting room was our office, the bedroom, rest. So office rest, and we're just deep diving, working in forex, learning, researching, and 2 years later, I remember 2017, the whole of 2017 we were practicing. 2018, 2019 is when we're just doing everything, and 2020 marks the time we officially opened our office. We've partnered with Pepperstone, one of the world's leading forex brokers, my personal best, to bring you an exclusive opportunity. And trust us, you won't want to miss out on this. We're giving you the chance to learn forex for free at Financial Hub, but there's a little twist to it. All you need to do is fund your Pepperstone account, and boom, you're all in. Deposit $100 and get access to our basic course, perfect for beginners. Or deposit $250 and get access to our exclusive course that is best for advanced traders. Why is this huge? Because you get to learn while you earn. Trade the real money and get real experience. And also you get lifetime access. Once you're in, you're in. in town, in Jekwa Towers, and some of you have been there. And that's when we opened our first office, which was very small. It was very small. It was just a 3-man office. And that's where we started this journey of financial markets publicly. We were shooting YouTube content. We had started shooting before, but that's when now we had an official office where if someone wanted to talk to us, they could come to us. And things started growing. And back then, the industry wasn't how it is right now. We'll talk about that as well. The industry was very young. It was 2020. It was just when we just opened our office before COVID. When COVID hit is when now people started researching on online, what to do, what to learn, how can I learn about trading. And that's when many people started trading. Actually, there was a trader I was watching, because we also watch other podcasts, the guy who was interviewed by Wisdom the other day, the guy who came out of jail.
I saw that. I've seen the
thumbnail.
It called? Yeah, the thumbnail and the intro, but I've not watched it.
Okay.
I just saw that he started trading in 2020.
Yeah, he started trading like that year, actually. Started 2020 with the 30K.
He's grown it to around 10 million.
Yeah. And he gave his breakdown of that. So I'm just saying, that's when some people started trading, and you can see that growth till now. So many people, some of you started trading that time. That was the point of sharing that point in 2020. And because 2020 to now is about 5 years, it's a good amount of time. And remember, everyone's journey is different. There are some guys who go like that, they have good mentorship, and different ways. But that's when we opened our office. Then a few years later, we opened a bigger office, still same place in Jekwa Towers, but a bigger space. And this may be something for you guys who are doing entrepreneurship and business. It was a good way we started like that. We didn't start by putting too much money and emphasis on our own office, like building it from scratch. We just went into the shared offices. There's Nairobi Garage, there's Rigas, we were in Rigas, there's Kofisi, Ziko Mob. I'm not affiliated with any, but just mentioning them. And it's a good way to start. It's spaces. Spaces is a nice one as well. I went to it. It's in GTC. But anyway, it's a good way to start your office. Not too big, not too flashy, but also quite professional, presentable, for you to start your businesses. And you can take small office, big office. But anyway, as we got blessed, we were able to open a big office, got some more people into the team. We got a bigger team. I remember at peak, we were about 8 of us at peak in the office. And then we were expanding too fast. We had to open another office in Lavington. And that's when now we got an office at Lavington Mall. Ken and I and the team were able to sit down with architects, these people here and there, able to come up with a plan, and we were able to come up with a very good office, which some of you have been there as well. And we've been there for it's been 2 years.
Yep.
Yeah, 2 years. And, as the more you learn, the more you grow, the more you want to expand your territories and learn new things and also spread your wings. And us, Ken and I, we've always believed in not becoming too stagnant and too comfortable with where you are. You always want to go to the next level. So last year actually, if you've watched many of our videos, we kept emphasizing this. And we kept telling our students, so this is not something that just happened. We kept telling our students, next year, Ken and I will be transitioning to something else, which is now this year, 2025. Next year, we mentioned it here and there. And today we sort of want to talk about it a bit because we are sort of in that transition and progress into that new level that we kept talking about. And so with that transition, because we kept saying that we'll do away, we'll stop educating and stop teaching and all that. But we remembered at the end of the day, many people are still learning how to trade. We see a lot of things happening online and people saying things that are not true or right. And at the end of the day, we still say with Ken, we are frontiers and there are some things we need to still continue guiding people. So we said the education side, let's keep it, but now we took it online. And instead of doing it physical, we took it online as we were transitioning. And remember, when we were teaching our last physical students, we told them, this is the last physical. You're the last people you teach physically in a whole class for a whole 2 months because our courses were 2 months as we transition online. So right now we took our everything online, and the office we had in Lavington, we also, now that is what I wanted to say officially. After that story I've given you, our journey, we officially came and now closed our office. We didn't close our office saying it is the end. No. We closed our office to prepare and transition to what is next. Okay, some things you need to be able to know how to stop, plan for what's next. So you can't do everything at the same time. Everything needs a proper plan. So our office in Lavington Mall, if you go there, because some people have been heading there and they land there and they wonder, where are these guys? Where are the boys? Wakienda online wanashanga, where are the boys? So officially to say, tumestopisha office for now as we transition to something new. And that something new, Ken is going to explain it to you kidogo before we get into other stories.
Yeah, so Caleb has done a very good job of actually defining the journey and where we are. And I think what I'm going to do is to just explain where we are moving from here next. So when we started out in trading, we left school with an intention of doing what we have actually done, because by then we had seen people learning how to trading, and probably doing well in the education space. Some people in the UK, some people in South Africa, and we thought we could replicate the same and do it here. And I think we did it and somehow got somewhere. But again, once you have entered the journey, or once you've entered the arena, there are facts that come to you, or there's information that becomes available to you that makes you now think about other things, or rather realize that there are other opportunities in other places. So what I mean is, when you start out in trading, essentially, most of us, especially right now, we start from a retail background. So you normally start by trading your own small account, depositing some little money, hoping on YouTube, trying to learn how to trade from that perspective. But after you've done trading for a while, you come and realize, okay, there's the other side of trading. There's something called an institution, which is basically a bank, a hedge fund, a mutual fund, just an asset management firm. Different firms that are designed to manage money for pensions, governments, people, high net worth individuals, companies, just different people. And you start realizing that these opportunities are very different. Like, for example, we have been looking at what opportunities we can explore when it comes to that side of trading, so the institutional side of trading. We tend to believe that it's easier to build a career out of that. It's easier for you to grow to some levels which you can't grow when you're doing it at a retail level. And for us, having also been in the teaching business and having been in that space now for around 5-6 years, we also want to learn something new. You know, when you get somewhere in life, you realize you can't always be the go-to person. Sometimes you also need to become, not sometimes actually, all the time you need to be a student to someone. So for some people, they might look at where we are and think, wow, that's where I would want to be. But for us who are here, we must also look somewhere else and say, that's where I would want to be. And in line with that view of looking somewhere else to know where we would want to be, that's why we are championing the idea of moving into institutional trading. We've actually been learning a lot on how you can make money with different things, understanding how to go about value investing, understanding how to go about equities, trading of equities, understanding how you can have a portfolio in bonds and different things. So finance is quite wide. Let no one lie to you that finance is just about retail trading or cryptocurrency or buying a share here and there. There's a lot, including private equity. And that's what we are currently interested in pursuing. I think on the retail side of things, we've pursued that. We've gotten to the summit. We know how it looks. We know the ups, we know the downs. And we have done at least a good, solid job of trying to pass along what we've gathered there. So it's now time for us to at least jump to another adventure and try and scale up and move in that direction. And we've made some progress, some small progress. In fact, if I think about this period, it reminds me of when we were thinking of FAB, because when we were thinking of FAB, we were just the two of us and we were like just working and no one knew what we were doing. And right now we are back to that point whereby I meet people nowadays and they ask us, what is your plan? What are you doing? Nini, you've not given us an update on YouTube. And I'm just like, that update will come. We're just setting up things. But that is the direction we're taking. And I think for anyone who's interested in a career in finance, there are people who are interested in, the joking aspect, the scamish side of trading, what's going on in the scene. Give me $20, give me $30, give me $100, give me $1,000. Very little money here and there. It's just confusing you, and it's not very, very healthy. I think once you realize how wide finance is and how big the opportunity is, then one thing that will stop is that hurry to make quick money, and realize that if you just solidify yourself in the right principles and follow the right procedures, eventually you will make that money, but not through shortcuts or other means that are not so healthy in the long term. Because by the end of the day, you must ask yourself, whatever I'm doing, is it likely to lead me to the right destination? Because sometimes people tend to engage in some behaviors which, if you just think about the long term, if you just think about swindling people, how many people do you think you can swindle to the top? Probably very few. And I think that's not an approach that can work at all. So you have to think about how you're going to recorrect that and probably do the right thing. And that's what we've always tried to do. If we see that this path is not taking us where we wanted, then you cut off that path and you focus on another path. And that's what we've been doing. Yeah.
And especially if we talk about the industry, as we all know, and we normally see what is happening with everyone in the industry. And you could show, we know those people, we won't mention names, but everyone wants to show. Ukishafika mahali you want. There are many people also who do not show but they've always been. But what causes you want to?
One, I think,
because also us, we weren't showing for the fact that, hey guys, I've made profit. Me, Nule, I'm the king of gold. I'm the king.
No. One, I think it's the difficulty of beating markets. I think once you've traded, you realize that it's quite hard to be consistently profitable, and that can easily make you want to just show that I've attained that particular thing. Next is human nature. I think everyone, in whatever industry you're in, we have the common mistake of always wanting to show our successes and hide our failures. So it's the same thing in trading. Your wins are some sort of your successes. Your losses are some sort of failures. So you tend to hide them. You don't want to be very comfortable around taking those slow. Even if you just even think about, nowadays I even track it to the barest minimum, to the point where I even observe if I'm with you in a room. Let's say I'm with you in a room and I'm in a trade and I have, let's say, running profit $3,000. I might be tempted to show you. But if I was in a room with the same $3,000 loss, I wouldn't show you.
Of course.
You get the difference. And I've realized, okay, I'm human also. So I actually accepted that, okay, there's that proclivity, there's that inclination to want to do that. But I realized it's not helping. So the fact that I know I have that weakness means that now it's very easy for me to control it. It's also some aspect of maturity. Ukishazeeka kidogo, you realize some things don't really add up. So,
but I think for us also, when we showed it, I think it was only for motivational purposes.
Yeah.
Not flaunting.
We've
never come said, look, I told you this is work.
No. That is
I'm the king of gold.
No, that's not the approach that we have always used. I think
at the end of the day, we knew we started this a long time, and when we started, we wanted to create, and we've always talked about this, how tunataka to shape the industry publicly, professionally, to be trading to be taken in a specific way. At the end of the day, we cannot beat the clout chasers.
Yeah. They're way more powerful.
There are many gurus out here, not actual gurus, but we see a lot of things that are happening out here that doesn't portray the real trading.
Yeah, not even close.
Not even close. I'll speak actually honestly, because you should really take care of who you follow and who you listen to when you're taking advice or guidance. Unfortunately, when you're starting off, you can't know who's who. So I was watching you remember these guys who used to, if I just mention many guys we saw as a scam, but many people didn't see. ILM, you remember ILM Academy? Chris, number 1. That event, I think even John, the guy from AstroFX, went to that group.
Yeah. Network marketing. I remember the one. I know the guy you're talking about.
Number 1 chairman. Yeah. So I was watching a documentary the other day that broke down that they were doing a recap. Because I remember those days when it was happening. I don't know, it was a movement. They entered it was an event based. They go different countries. They enter shouting and, and many scams follow that public sort of thing because it lures a lot of people. And how it really lured in a lot of people who, actually the people in the documentary were like, it's unfortunate they were brought into that thing because the people they were interviewing in that documentary were the inside people. Mm-hmm. The people who had gotten the inside, the ones who used to hire now the mansions. Mm-hmm. And they were saying they even regret being a part of that. Because this wasn't about trading. It was all about network marketing. Mm-hmm. But using trading
as an
avenue. And that's what we're seeing in the current industry. Many people are not doing what you think they're doing. It's just... And that's why mtu asiwe kudanganya trading ni rahisi. Mtu asiwe kudanganya sijui how I easily made $10,000, how I easily bought this car from my trade. Nah, achana na hizo mchezo and don't look up to such things. Because us, for a long time in the industry, we've always looked up to the likes of Ray Dalio. Just before we enter this podcast right now, we're talking about Steven Schwarzman, the guy for Blackstone, and Larry Fink, the guy with the biggest asset managing company, BlackRock, in the world with 11 trillion. Those are guys you should look up to, guys who have real solid track records over a long period of time.
And a career. You know, guys, we're not just looking for
and a career. Because Ken was explaining me to the story. I was asking him, what's the story behind Larry Fink and how he started BlackRock and how he grew it to that. So, what's the career path? Ken, break down how this guy went to first Boston, then akatoka kenda Blackstone akaanzisha, it said Blackstone, alikuwa nayo BlackRock, Evo. There's a process.
There's a process. You don't just wake up and you're there, So,
and you're there. And I think one thing Ken and I have come to agree in, especially with this industry, something honestly takes time. And this industry too, things will take time. Your maturity, your account growth, your career path. We're still in our 20s, my friend.
Exactly.
Hatujafika 30 bado. Ken's birthday was the other day, but bado hatujafika 30s. You guys have been in this industry. Warren Buffett made a big chunk after how old? After 50.
After 50. He made his first billion after 56. He made 99% of his money after 66. 99% of Buffett's fortune has come in after the age of 66.
Yeah. So, if you aren't born into wealth, Ken and I tumekuja kugundua. Kama kuzaliwa kwa your wealth,
take time. Wacha haraka.
Tulia. You're trying to catch up with your rich friends. Azaliwa huko
Rutos hawezi.
They've built their career.
Yeah.
Watoto wa Ruto ndo wanaenda kuenjoy sasa mali. Ruto aliwakia. Kama wewe hukuzaliwa hapo, you're going to work for it.
And you're going to take time.
And it'll take time.
Yeah.
There's no rush. Usiharakishe trying to look for shortcuts. And that's what social media is really portraying and luring people into the wrong direction. And sooner or later, same people you look up to, the same people you'll see going under. I remember Sandile Shezi.
Yeah. He disappeared.
As the guy we were looking up to.
We no longer see him.
In when we were starting out, he looked at 2016, 2017, how he sold cupcakes, and then he came and started. And later down the line, maybe he started off well. I'm not saying he's a bad trader or anything, but whatever stories came up, that came back to him, did the wrong thing in the industries, attack. He was living that lifestyle online that we see online. So my main goal, and Ken, you'll never see us portraying such. We keep it professional. If I make this my own personal wins, tutashare mimi na Ken, tutajienjoy, tutaonyeshana huku nyuma. But those are our wins. Not to flaunt it publicly, but at the same time, still to find ways to inspire and educate you people that this industry, done in a certain way, you can get to that point. So like Ken was saying, we're still trading. Our accounts are still there, especially now that we're going into live trading sessions, which you just follow our social media and our platforms. We'll be explaining this soon and how we'll be doing it, just to portray and show you guys how we can trade alongside one another. Now, note, this is not a trading signal live session. Now, to engage live session, I'm here coming to tell you guys, let's buy and sell here. No, I'm here to guide you. If I have a certain trade setup, this is what Caleb is looking for. Ken can break down here. This is what he's looking for. If he's taking a trade, this is how the trade is running. This is how he's managing it. Kama imegonga stop loss, tunakuja tunasema imegonga stop. Kama imeenda juu. So it's a guide of how we trade, how we approach the markets, and showing you guys how we trade. Because as Ken was saying, tumemature so much these days, we rarely take trades. I have my account that I'll show you guys, and we'll do it in the live trading. I haven't had a trade for 1 month. and I'm not pressured. Kitambo ningekuwa I have to trade. I can't stay 1 month. No. But these days, no, there's no pressure. Setup imekam, setup hajakam, has it checklist ticked if it hasn't ticked. So in the live trading sessions, we'll guide you through how we go through that mentally. So don't expect every trading session Caleb must have a trade. No, I'm not entering here to show you how I can make $5,000 in 2 hours.
That doesn't
we don't do those things. Opportunity ikiwa tutachukua. Kama hakuna, I remember there was one time in my previous class, there was a Dow trade that I executed with my students. I hadn't taken a trade for a long time, and then this Dow trade came. Candlestick was just closing. It was a good indication to take the trade. It was a very strong pin bar. Markets were showing to go up. Took that trade. That trade worked wonderfully well, reached targets. And kama hakuna, tunaka. Like the whole last month, I've not heard anything. So we'll bring those updates. Other than that, a big thing that we're working on is Pepperstone. So we've always also as much as we keep it professional, we also look for professional partners. So if you see our partnerships that we normally have, we try and look for professional partners. And Pepperstone have really stood out for the longest of times. We were with them back then, if you remember, back 2023.
Yeah.
2023, we were with Pepperstone. And then we took a short break. And now we're back with our partnership again. So everything we do is alongside Pepperstone. We have a lot of things coming in plan. Tours are coming. Msishtuke mkituone in your city. Those are things we'll announce soon, but we're coming. Nakuru, Eldoret, Mombasa. Comment below so that we can get to know which cities are there, because we have to do our own due research and then plan. But we're coming soon. So expect us with the Pepperstone team and just work and collaborate with one another to do a professional thing. Not those mediocre, get rich quick type of ideology, but a proper long-term plan that has worked for us over the years, and we're trying to teach to other people.
Yep. So I think, guys, for me, actions speak louder than words. So
at the end of the day,
we just have to be patient. The wind will be separated from the chaff, and we will be able to know
the what?
The people who will.
The what will be separated?
The wheat will be separated from the chaff.
Okay.
What is it?
I don't know.
So by the end of the day, we'll get to know who does
Shaft
well.
Does what it sieves.
Yeah, it sieves. So once you sieve, you're left with the dirty things on the top, and then you have now the real wheat. You get. So you have now the product. So by the end of the day, we'll see the real product, and we'll see who was making noise. I think one thing that I've appreciated with social media is there's so much noise, very little signal. And I think you can spend a lot of time just hovering around, and you'll find that your weeks, like there are people I've seen that their weeks tend to have, their lives are split, or their lives are centered around what's going on social media, such that if this week Gachagua is trending with cousins, that's what this guy will focus on for that whole week. If next week it's Harambee Stars, that's what that guy will focus in. Yeah. So you'll find someone just he's just following trends and trying to entertain people online. But I tend to think about it that this is too much noise with no signal. So focus on the signals, and eventually you will get there. I think with that
signals, what do you mean?
Like, for example, if you come into trading, there's a lot of noise. There are so many people who are trying to tell you what trading is all about. But there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 people who tell you what trading is actually like. That's the signal. All these other people are making noise. Okay. If you come to the prop scene, there are very many firms, but probably only 1 or 2 firms will give you the best trading experience. All the other ones are making noise. So most places, if you go, there's, even in the market, there's what you're looking for, which is the signal.
But there's noise all over.
You know, the market is moving up, it's moving down. There's this candle, there's this. But there's a specific thing that you're looking for, which is the signal. So pay attention to the signal. Forget about the noise. I think that will really, really help you in
good advice,
living a good life. Otherwise, I think with that said, we'll catch up next time.
Yeah, so guys, that's it. As Kenna said, those are just a bit updates of where we are, what we're doing, and where we're going. And now, from the next episode to Tuendelee, let's continue talking about trading and all that, and catch us in the next episode where we'll be talking about the markets, trades, and everything else. So like Ken said, more guests are coming soon, so prepare for that. And yeah, Sasa, like we always say, stay woke, stay financially literate.
Peace.